Hey, what's going on, everybody? Derek Michaud here. Thanks for joining me. This is the Producer's Journal, a podcast producer's journey. Today, I am recording from home, and it's old school. This is when I first started this podcast. I did this from home, and I attempted this a few days ago, and all I had was my SM58. Now, I believe when years ago, recorded from home, I was going through a Scarlett interface into my computer, and my very technical DAW was Audacity. Now I have a Rodecaster at home, and tried to use it with the SM58. It just didn't sound good. Didn't work. So I went ahead and sprung for a new Rode mic. First time I use one. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SM7Bs at the studio. I could use 2 more, but that's what I use for everything over there is SM7Bs. I didn't feel like springing for another $400, so this new Rode mic's only $100. Sweetwater, looks awesome, sounds pretty good, and excited to be able to do this from home. And because I'm trying to work from home a little more. When I have sessions or in-person meetings, of course I'm going to be in the studio. I love having in-person meetings because I love showing my studio off and having them kind of really just get a visual of what it is I do. But then there's those days where I have no need for the studio. So I've been editing more at home. I redid my home desk and got it cleaned up because I hadn't worked in here forever. I'm working on the same desk that I've been using now. It's 2 different apartments. I've dragged it along with me, and back before I had a studio, this was my desk. And I kind of lost track of working here. If I did work from home, I would just pop my laptop up on the dining room table or sitting in what I call my dad chair and just putting the laptop on my lap, which is all good, but it's harder to really focus that way. Now I have a nice, comfortable home desk, office / studio now, and going to be recording a lot more from here because now it's just chill. I don't need my studio to do this now. And this is more laid back productions, not video. So I will say though, I am producing or mixing videos for this podcast with the audio baked into the thumbnail. So it's a static image video. That way I can still post it on YouTube and Facebook. Just because. Spread it out, put it on all the channels. But I know that it's harder to watch a video when it's just one static image the whole time. So it is what it is. Lots to catch up on. So I just talked about working from home. Look at my journal right now. I wrote in my journal. I've been really good at trying to keep up every day, even if I took a day off, like May 12th, 5/12/24, Sunday, took off. Sessions with Mayor. Okay, so last week, as I record this, I had my mayor in the studio, Mayor Chip Johnson for the city of Hernando, Mississippi. I'm glad to say he and I have become friends over time because I serve with him on the Chamber Board of Directors and also just got to know him over time by going to ribbon cuttings. He's a very active mayor, very in tune with our community, and comes to a lot of the ribbon cuttings. So great guy. I got his phone number. I could text him anytime. What's up, Chip? He's cool. We talk music. And I was struggling to get bookings for the Real Hernando. I can't remember if I mentioned this in a previous episode, but I will touch on it this way because I've rectified that a little bit. But at the time, I was on the hook. I needed an episode, and had like 5 days to turn it around. Because I got to stay on schedule with The Real Hernando. It's every other Tuesday, and it's sponsored. It's monetized. People are buying the model, the episodes. They need to have that episode on schedule every 2 weeks. So just a quick text to my friend Chip and asked him if he wanted to come back on. Years ago, not years ago, but back in 2022 when I first started this podcast, I had him on pre-studio. He let me come to his office. I brought one camera and 2 Rode Go wireless clip mics, which is how I did the whole podcast pre-studio. And it was about him, the person. The words conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, none of that came up. There was no standing on the stump. There was nothing political. It was absolutely about the person and the man. And let's learn about the guy that's running our city. And it was great. And I didn't know him as well, obviously, back then. But that's how nice this guy is. He's really cool. Just, yeah, come on in. And he gave me 90 minutes in his office and was wide open with his story and told us all kinds of good stuff about himself. Well, now fast forward, and again, in a pinch, I thought of reaching out to him because there's a lot of new developments in Hernando. The big one is a new high school, which will open fall of 2025. My daughter's going to sneak in senior year. She's going to be at the new high school for its first year, and it will be her last year of high school. So she'll be able to sneak in and get one good year out of that. But also we got some new developments and some developments that are not making people happy. Hernando is like a quaint little city, old mom and pop, historical district downtown with a square around the courthouse, but it's very supported. Every store location is taken in full, and it's a thriving little city. But now corporate America continues to trickle in. There was an uprising years ago when Walmart came, and it's just kind of been building from there. So, since when I moved here, we already had, of course, McDonald's, Burger King. No Burger King. No Burger King, but McDonald's, Wendy's, Sonic, Taco Bell, KFC, Arby's. These things start trickling in over time. But now, since I've moved here a couple years ago, working on 3 years now, we have added a Dunkin' Donuts, a Starbucks, Whataburger's coming. People are just not feeling that, but it is what it is. And so I wanted him to have an opportunity to talk about that. So we got a new traffic circle that we're putting in at a fairly busy intersection. Oh, my God. People do not want a roundabout. So there's some topics in that episode that might be polarizing to a few. Who knows? But this will be interesting when I publish it because there's a good chance I'm going to get some comments, whether they're watching the clip or watching the full episode on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. It's a total of 4 posts per episode. I'm sure there's going to be some comments in there disagreeing with what he says. But I hope so, actually, because now I don't care. We didn't get too political, but it's all politics when talking about these things. So I hope some people get fired up because the more comments I get, the more reach I will get. At the end of the day, it's our mayor. It's called The Real Hernando. I should be able to talk to the mayor of Hernando. We used Studio A, which is the 2-camera corner, and it went well. Looks good. I've taken notes on the floor panels, the floor lights, the floodlights, on settings. I've always gone back and forth and been inconsistent. In some videos I look and the backdrops are a little too bright or not bright enough, whatever. So I found the settings I like, took notes of that. I'm going to keep that consistent. And for the Real Hernando, I'm going without headphones because we don't need headphones. We're sitting across from each other. I'm not playing any music or any sound effects in real time. And I think it's just more comfortable for the guests because they're not used to it coming in. So it went well. If you're wondering why you hear these little pauses, it's because I'm turning my mic off so I can clear my throat. It's nonstop. Just sinuses, ear infections, allergies. It never ends for me. So I'm going to go off script here, and let's talk about Studio A, B, and C. Because in real time now thinking, I need to kind of change the names, I think. Because right now I only have 2 podcast stations. A, which is the one I just explained, it's the 2-camera setup. And then I've been calling Studio C, the third, hey, look, I don't edit, okay? You're going to have to deal with my mumbling here. I have this 3-camera station set up called Studio C, where I record the Rhythm Section podcast and whatever clients need 3 cameras. And then in between the 2, Studio B was the Real Hernando studio. And it was way more organic. It was in this little nook on the wall. I did 2 wireless Rodeco, put in those little microphone clips and then put in a mic stand so it just looked like a wireless microphone. Or if I had 2 guests, I would clip one on each of them. I have 2 sets, so I have 4 clips in total. So that way I could record up to 3 guests. And you could see the wall, the background was the wall with like the gray and black, cheap square foam panels thrown on the wall. And I never really cared for the look, but it worked. And I'd never recorded anything else there. It was really just the Real Hernando station, if you will. Well, I'm changing that now. Now that I have 2 really nice settings, 2-camera deal and a 3-camera station, I'm just recording the Real Hernando on either one that is needed. Ironically, today I had a film session for the Real Hernando, and in the form that the guest fills out giving me information, one of the questions is, will you be bringing a second person to be on the show? Yes. Gave me the name. Okay. I got to use Studio C. That way I can have 3 cameras. Got it all set up. And nope. Other person couldn't make it. So we still recorded in there. And then, which is fine. So the Real Hernando is going to have 2 different looks depending on how many guests we have. And all is good. So that leaves me with that wall. And I'm realizing that I have what I need to do something a little different that will also give clients another option, a good service offering, and that is green screen. For years and years and years and years, back when I bought my first pack of backdrops in the original stands 100 years ago, when I lived in Memphis, I bought a set because I, at the time, was making bass guitar videos and I wanted a backdrop behind me. And the set came with black backdrop, a white one, and a green one. I don't even think I've unfolded the green and white ones. Now's the time. So that wall is perfect size so I can throw up the tripods and the crossbar and put that green backdrop up there and start playing around. I've never done green screen ever. And I'm adding this to my notes today. That way I know I talked about it on this day in my journal. Studio B, green screen. And I think that's nice because it gives me an option for people to come in and do like tutorial videos, training videos, and they can put whatever they want behind it. But something I've never done before. Anyways, so that's what's going to happen there. I have not sprung forward into that yet. I've been so busy working on Studio C with the new lights mounted out of the wall, cameras, that whole bit. But I will be going there. But right now I have what I need to handle all my clients. And then, of course, if someone comes in and wants to do audio only, then they can use whichever side. Don't matter. I would go Studio A because that is a separate room for my desk. My desk is in the same room as Studio 3. So it's nice. I put my client in Studio A, shut that door, give them some peace, and I can go back to my desk and work. So yeah, that's what's going on in the studio. Now, I want to start talking Barter. I met with a lady. Her name is Brandy Faulkner. We are in BNI, Business Network International. You're going to hear me talk about BNI a lot. She's in a different chapter, but in the same county. So these two chapters work a lot with each other. And what she does, she owns a franchise called, or she has her own franchisee. And the business is called DeSoto Local. DeSoto is our county, and then the word local. I don't understand the name. It doesn't really match with the services, but what she does is she puts television screens in different bars and restaurants, and then people buy advertising time on that screen. If you ever sat in a restaurant and you see the screens with baseball, football, you get sports, and then you have one screen that's just rolling ads every 15 seconds. It's a new screen with a new business, with website and a headshot and designed to fit their branding. That's what she does. And I've already done some barter with her. She's a gold level sponsor for the Real Hernando, which is the low level. And then she matched the value and put me on the screens. And then that exhausted itself. The deal was over. And her logo is still on the website for the rest of the year based on what she got. And then we met again, we got to talking, and we struck another barter deal. I am going to have her on the Cafe and Commerce podcast, which I don't know if I've talked a whole lot about, but I'll probably explain that. You know what? I'm going to put that right here. Next episode, Cafe and Commerce. EY, Commerce. People get it confused and they say Coffee and Commerce. But the real quick is it's a podcast platform for businesses to sponsor their own episode. Basically pay to be on it. It's a big commercial. They get clips, a bunch of assets. They get put on the Real Hernando network, getting all that reach, and I give them the assets. I'll go in more detail on that another day. So it's got a value of $750, right? And so I was like, hey, come on the show. I'll do it for free. And quite honestly, I do all the work. So it costs me nothing to give it, which is why I can leverage it for barter. And when I barter, I only barter if I'm getting advertising on the other side. That's what I'm receiving. I don't barter for free coffee for a month at the local coffee shop. That coffee is delicious. It'd be nice, but it doesn't do anything for my business. So she's coming to record next week, I believe on the 20th. And then we'll do our thing, and then I'm going back on the screens. So there you have it. There's that barter. Then there's a second thing I want to talk about that ties in with barter, and a name that I've spoken about in the past. Her name is Wendy Johnson. To catch you up on some previous episodes here, she owns a marketing agency, advertising agency that we connected through BNI. We met in the studio so she could see the place, and we really got to talking, and we realized that there's definitely ways for us to work with each other. And then it came to the end, some good ideas, but of course I was going to follow up with her, and I did. And we booked a meeting this week, as I'm recording this on the 13th. I'm going to go to her store. Now, if if you forgot, she actually is in BNI because she has a jewelry store. That's what she goes to BNI for, but she has this marketing agency on the side as well. So I'm going to go hang out and see her store, but then we're going to talk, have another what's called one-to-one. And what was great is when I texted her following up and trying to plan a meeting, she's like, great, I've been thinking a lot about our meeting, looking forward to talking more. I was like, yes, that's what I need to hear. So what I'm going to be proposing to her is a barter deal, and hopefully talk about other things. I really hope she can connect me with people that will bring in business and advertising for me. But what I'm going to go to her with is a proposal. I'm going to propose to her a trade for the Real Hernando, only it will be the platinum level, which is the middle one. I got 3 levels: gold, platinum, diamond. Ooh, diamond's the big one. No more silver and bronze. That's yesterday's news. Now we're talking gold, platinum, and diamond. The diamond is for one person or one business. That's the title. That's it. Done. The platinum level, I can have up to 6 advertisers. I have 6 available ad spots. Currently, I have 1. I was up to 3 at one point, but as it goes, they come and go. So I'm going to offer her that level, which is $4,000 for the year. Comes down to $333 a month. And I'll just ask her, hey, I'll put your commercial on the Real Hernando. I'll give you everything that you would get. And then you can match what you feel is comfortable for you, or do what's comfortable for you that matches that $330 a month. And do whatever you can for me. I'm not asking for favors. I think the lowest tier she has is $500 a month. So I'm not going to ask for $500 a month worth of service, but it's better than nothing. And here's the thing. Okay, on the front end, we're going to make her ad. I might do the voiceover. She might do it. Whatever it may be. Find the music. Write the script. Whatever. Once the ad is complete, that's it. It just goes to my editor, and he fits it into the episode. Done. So, again, it's easy for me to trade. It really does. It doesn't cost me anything. I'm not losing any money on this. Maybe if I need my editor to help me with this, maybe $50. That's it. And if she's willing to do that trade, I'm getting $50. I'm putting in $50, and then in return, one time $50 labor, and getting $333 of service every month for the rest of the year. I mean, come on. That's a good trade. That's a good deal. I hope she takes that because I need it. I need that help. I need marketing. I'm not in the marketing business. I know how to create content, and I know how to promote a podcast on social media with clips and repurposing, but I'm not a marketer. I'm not a salesperson. That's not my strength, and that's really what's hurting me. Some people know how to do both sides. They know how to do digital marketing. They know all the tricks. I don't. And you know what? I don't care to. That sounds bad because it's my business. I should be on top of these things. But instead, I'm searching for the people that can help me in that area. So to be able to find an opportunity where I could potentially barter for some marketing service, I'm all in. All in. So I hope I can update you with some good news after this meeting, and we'll see. We'll see what happens, and I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. I have noticed, looking at the numbers, and by the way, it's such a crapshoot looking at downloads and streams, and it's never accurate. It's always eluding. But I have noticed that prior to coming back with this new format where I'm just no music, organic, as I've been doing it, literally reading and taking notes out of my journal, the downloads have dropped significantly. Looking back at past episodes and even during all the different format changes. I was getting like 50 downloads an episode. It's not bad. It's usually more than that when I look into Podbean. Podbean is only so accurate. But now it's down. But here's the thing. That's good. It's okay if someone doesn't like this format. That's cool. But other people will. And if you are listening right now and you kind of enjoy this story-based, journal-based podcast where a real producer is talking through stuff, then share this with someone else that you might feel would be interested. Because I have no problem losing audience members right now, because I understand. I get it. But let's build this up with audience members that are into this, that want to follow along. I'm going to try to keep this ongoing, timely. So the more you listen, the more you'll understand my story. So when I bring up someone like Wendy Johnson, which she will come up again, you can sit back and be like, oh, great. Yes, or right now you're like, oh, I can't wait to hear about his update after meeting Wendy Johnson. That's the vibe I want. I want people to follow along. Go on the journey with me. And hopefully I can stutter less, mumble less. What else? Be better prepared. Honestly, this is the most I've ever been prepared for this podcast, because I actually really take notes in my journal. I'm very proud of myself, because usually I lose track of this stuff. But so far, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of stuff that I've been keeping track of. So, okay, I threatened to finish earlier, for real this time. If you want to learn more about my business, srpstudiosllc.com. All the channels. Follow my Facebook. Follow my Instagram. Follow therealhernando.com. If you want to learn more about the Memphis music scene, go to the rhythm section, pod.com. And let me know what you think. And again, thank you for listening. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.